Donald Trump woke up to some really bad news on Friday, both in terms of the economy as well as a new batch of Epstein files have been released, a third batch. And among its findings, according to the Democrats in the House Oversight Committee, within the documents of Epstein's schedule, there's evidence that Peter Thiel and Steve Bannon had scheduled meetings with Epstein, as well as evidence of a pending trip by Elon Musk to Epstein Island. How's Donald Trump responding to this? Well, Donald Trump just posted on social media as he's heading to the Ryder Cup in Long Island. He posted on his social media platform, "Pregnant women," and he put this all in caps. "Don't use Tylenol unless absolutely necessary. Don't give Tylenol to your young child for virtually any reason. Break up the MMR shot into 3 totally separate shots, not mixed!" Take chicken pea shot separately. Take hepatitis B shot at 12-year-old or older. And importantly, take vaccine in separate medical visits. President DJT. He's giving just a bunch of incorrect medical, I wouldn't even call it opinions. I would call it conspiracies. He doesn't know how to spell hepatitis. He spells it hepatitis. He doesn't know how to spell chicken pox, so he just writes chicken pea. And just this idea that he's demanding that pregnant women who are in pain follow his guidance versus what their doctors are saying, and he is getting in the way of that, is utterly deranged. That's what he's posting this morning as he's heading to the Ryder Cup in Long Island to watch golf on the taxpayer dime. Oh, then Donald Trump posts this morning, "James Comey is a dirty cop. Make America great again!" Now, as I've gone over before in lots of other videos, the case against James Comey just objectively is a bad case. Like, there's no facts to bring a case against Comey. And regardless of your views about Comey, Donald Trump posting this is going to blow up the case as well, because this violates every federal rule. Not that Donald Trump cares about following the federal rules, but when a judge dismisses the case for vindictive prosecution because Trump keeps posting things like that, he's going to go, "Oh, these leftist judges are coming after me. It's a leftist judge." No, it's your behavior. Never before in American history has this happened, and we, the American people, should not be okay with it. Then Donald Trump goes, "Whether you like corrupt James Comey or not," and I can't imagine too many people liking him, he lied. It's not a complex lie. It's very simple, but it's an important one. There is no way he can explain his way out of it. He's a dirty cop, and he always has been. But he was just assigned a crooked Joe Biden appointed judge, so he's off to a very good start. Nevertheless, words are words, and he wasn't hedging or in dispute. He was very positive. There was no doubt in his mind about what he said or meant by saying it. He left himself zero margin of error. He just got unexpectedly caught. James Dirty Cop Comey was a destroyer of lives. You wonder why Donald Trump doesn't post what he claims that James Comey said was a lie, because when you read the indictment, it says that James Comey lied to the Senate when he said that he never authorized Andy McCabe, who worked for him at the FBI, to leak information to the Wall Street Journal. And what's that based on? Nothing. Andy McCabe had testified previously that he made James Comey aware after the fact about the leak, not got authorization from James Comey. It was based on a Ted Cruz memo where Ted Cruz conflated being aware of after the fact and authorizing. So the whole very premise of this is completely false to begin with. And then also, the underlying premise here is what? That Donald Trump has no connections to Russia? When Donald Trump was saying, "Russia, Russia, Russia, if you're listening, can you please leak files of the DNC?" Or Donald Trump meeting with Putin a few weeks ago and rolling out the red carpet for him. This whole thing is utterly ridiculous. Oh, then Donald Trump posts on his social media platform that he's got a 57% American approval rate, except that that's totally a lie. The latest Quinnipiac poll shows that Donald Trump's approval rate, and all of the credible polling shows that Donald Trump's approval rate is somewhere around 38% right now. Even on the issues of the economy, Trump's approval's at 39%. On the issue of immigration, Trump's approval is at 41%. But the guy's a liar about every single thing. He posts this morning, he goes, Trump, the president of peace. Trump ended 7 wars in just 7 months. Okay, let's take a look at the wars that you claim you solved. Egypt and Ethiopia, you didn't solve that. There was not like a raging war between Egypt and Ethiopia. Israel and Iran. You mean we performatively bombed Iran? And Iran now has all its nuclear weapons and all of its nuclear capabilities and hasn't changed a single thing. And if anything, Iran is in a stronger position now. Pakistan and India. Okay, India says you had no involvement in that at all because you didn't. The Democratic Republic of Congo and Rwanda, there's still active war going on in Congo right now, and ISIS forces in Congo are killing dozens of people on a fairly frequent basis right there. Kosovo and Serbia. Oh, everybody knows the raging Kosovo and Serbia war over the past 8 months that Donald Trump was. He's making this stuff up. It's utterly, utterly deranged. We live in a Ponzi scheme country where this guy lies about literally everything, then goes and spends our taxpayer dollars to go to golf matches. Golf.com. Trump has arrived at the Bethpage Black Golf Course. He's the first sitting president of the United States to attend the Ryder Cup. By the way, as of this recording, Europe is leading the Ryder Cup as well. And do you think Donald Trump took credit for saving the Ryder Cup? The answer is yes. Donald Trump says that without him, there would be no Ryder Cup because he signed an executive order preventing unions that were involved in the Long Island Railroad from going on strike. So yes, so to all those union people who had supported Donald Trump, so he blocked the union's ability to collectively bargain and go on strike is what he claims. And on that basis, he says he saved the Ryder Cup. You think you saved the Ryder Cup? Utterly deranged. This is his press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, saying Trump saved the golf match. Here, play this clip.
And on Friday, the president will travel to Long Island for the Ryder Cup golf match between the United States and Europe. This event is one of the greatest sporting events in the world, and it would not be taking place this year without President Trump's help. President Trump signed an executive order last week preventing a strike that would have crippled the New York City area ahead of the tournament, and at the request of the 5 labor unions who all represent workers on the Long Island Railroad. One of the greatest golfers in the world, Bryson DeChambeau, praised the president's critical intervention, saying, quote, "When the possibility of a strike threatened to disrupt transportation and attendance, President Trump stepped up and took the action needed to protect this world-class competition."
You go to the doctor, you get your blood drawn. A week later, they tell you everything looks fine. Maybe they'll tell you to drink more water or exercise more, but that's it. No breakdown of your hormones, no insight into the inflammation, toxins, or nutrient deficiencies. Just vague advice and a pat on the back. Superpower Health is a completely different experience. It's a revolutionary new kind of preemptive care, more comprehensive, more actionable, and you can do it all from the comfort of your home. And here's how it works. Twice a year, Superpower sends a licensed professional right to your door to collect a comprehensive lab panel, or you can visit a nearby lab. Superpower measures over 100 biomarkers. That includes your heart, liver, thyroid, hormones, metabolism, vitamin, and even mineral levels. Then you get a personalized action plan based on your results, all beautifully laid out on their app, plus access to your own private medical team to help guide you. It's the same level of testing and insight that pro athletes get, but a price that actually makes sense. Stop just hoping you'll live a long, healthy life and start taking action. For a limited time, our listeners get $50 off when they use code MIDAS at superpower.com. Superpower not only gives you an initial plan, but it tracks your results over your lifetime. Each test builds on the last, giving you a full picture of your progress year after year. For a limited time, our listeners are getting $50 off an annual Superpower membership by using code MIDAS at checkout. Just head to superpower.com, use code MIDAS to get our exclusive discount. Your biology decoded, your blueprint activated with Superpower. After your purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that MeidasTouch sent you.
Again, this is truly a deranged individual. Donald Trump, before heading to the golf match, was asked, well, now that Comey has been indicted, who's the next person on your list? And Trump's like, I wouldn't say it's a list, but I'm going to go after a lot of radical leftist Democrats. And the sitting president saying he's going to go after radical leftist Democrats. What a divisive, vile human being. Here, play this clip.
I James Comey, now that James Comey has been indicted, who is the next person on your list in this retribution?
It's not a list, but I think there'll be others. I mean, they're corrupt. These were corrupt, radical left Democrats. Because Comey essentially was he's worse than a Democrat. I would say the Democrats are better than Comey. But no, there'll be others. Look, that's my opinion.
Then Donald Trump says that he's going to shut down the government because he says Democrats want transgender for everybody. He goes, because Democrats want transgender for everybody, the government's going to have to shut down. The hell does this even mean? The hell does this even mean? And the fact that corporate news will just report on this, well, I guess Democrats want transgender for everybody. The government's going to have to shut down. Like, where is any modicum of journalism right now calling out this ridiculous authoritarianism and just stupidity before our eyes? Here, play this clip.
They want to have transgender for everybody. These people are crazy, the Democrats. So if it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down. But they're the ones that are shutting down.
Oh, well, here it is. You have Joe Kiernan on CNBC interviewing MAGA Republican Senator Bill Hagerty. And here's the exchange that went down. Play this clip.
President Trump, I mean, he is mercurial, and sometimes he gets mad, and they're calling it a temper tantrum. The Democrats are that he refused to, after agreeing to meet, that then he wasn't going to. But do you think in his calculus, he thinks that the Democrats are going to go through with it this time, and he wants them to?
Well, first, Joe, I think that's a very unfair representation. Mercurial, temper tantrum. No, he saw the demands, which were so unrealistic.
No, he is mercurial. I don't know if this was a temper tantrum.
But over this particular issue, I think it was very clear. There's no point in meeting when the demands were so outrageous. Another trillion.
Seriously, that's what they're doing right now. Oh, and by the way, Donald Trump had his granddaughter, Kai Trump, with him, which under normal circumstances, he'd be like, all right, that's nice. You have Donald Trump, a president and their granddaughter, but this family can't do anything normal. Notice what Kai Trump is wearing, the KT shirt, which she's selling for like $200 or like $130. So she's been using the White House to sell her sweatshirts for $130 a piece on social media. And then she uses our White House, the People's House, as the backdrop for her photo shoots to sell her merch line. And while she's selling her merch line, Donald Trump's like, I think we may have a deal on Gaza. That's going to be number 8 war I solved. Here, play this clip.
Have maybe a deal on Gaza, very close to a deal on Gaza. How are you? Hello, Peter. And it's looking like we have a deal on Gaza. And we'll let you know.
Mr. President.
I think it's a deal that will get the hostages back. It's going to be a deal that will end the war. It's going to be a deal it's going to be peace. I think we have a deal. That'll be number 8, Peter. Not bad.
Then Donald Trump goes on and rants and raves like a lunatic and says, that these left people, they're sick. They're sick human beings. Again, creating more divisiveness in our country, which the American people absolutely despise. Let's play this clip.
They are sick, radical left people, and they can't get away with it. And Comey was one of the people. He wasn't the biggest, but he's a dirty cop. He's always been a dirty cop. Everybody knew it. And it's, as far as the case is concerned, he gave an answer. It was a strong answer. He then verified it a couple of times because that was a very important answer. If he would have equivocated, if he would have been like a little bit less sure, that would have been very bad for him. So he gave an answer. The only problem is for him, he didn't think it'd be caught, and he got caught, Peter.
And then on Fox, you have Maria Bartiromo with a MAGA Republican Congress member, McCormick, and they're out there talking about, they're whining more about the escalator not working at the United Nations. This is what they're passing as news. Here, play this clip.
We just spoke with Hillel Neuer, UN Watch executive director. What did you make of all that sabotage? The president goes on the escalator, it stops. He's reading from the teleprompter, it stops. Then we're told that some of the audio of the president's speech wasn't heard from a big group of people. Was someone at the UN trying to sabotage President Trump this week?
Well, it's really hard to say, but I will say this. I'm not a big fan of the UN. Since I was in the military in 94, they left Rwanda. We came in, we watched 1 million people die. 1 million people die because the UN didn't do their job. They've been corrupt They've shown all kinds of bias against the United States, against Israel. They're not on our side. And that's why they're really in jeopardy of losing funding. And they already have lost some funding. They're not a straight up organization. We have to keep a close eye on them. They have some utility, but don't trust them. That's for sure.
Well, probably not a good idea to play games with President Trump while he was riding the elevator and reading a script at the UN if, in fact, the funding is already in jeopardy because of an ineffective agency. And then you've got these political tricks. Congressman.
There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers. Thank you for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.